Reloading mag.
Last stop standing.
Or no, never mind, cafe.
Reloading! Down to 15 seconds. 10 seconds left. Friendly victorious. Hostiles eliminated.
I realized I could probably just end it right there since I gave away all the points, but if you're in the mood for some elaboration, this is GRMP, and today we're going over 5 beginner ranked mistakes. So the first mistake I see is players fluctuating back and forth between ranked and casual. There's a time for casual, like with players still trying to understand the game, if you're tired, or if you just want to mess around, but to keep things simple, once you decide to delve into ranked, you should commit to it and keep grinding through even when you hit those losing streaks. Sticking with ranked will help you create better habits in general because you and your enemies typically play differently on casual. A lot of those habits you create in casual won't translate very well to ranked, so this basically means destroying newer players in casual is ultimately not going to help you in the long run. I know after a loss or two you want a quick confidence boost from casual to help offset the stress of losing more elo or ranked points, but staying consistent with ranked will actually get rid of that extra stress instead of masking it. You'll eventually stop putting so much weight on your rank in each individual game, which will in turn help you play more naturally. Definitely play to win though, because those nerves you feel when you're attempting to clutch a round or beat an equally matched team is honestly the reason this game is so fun. Just don't let that need to rank up or that fear of deranking cloud your judgment or make you toxic. This concept ties directly to the next mistake on this list, which is players not communicating effectively or at all. Success in this game is mostly determined by information, whether it's giving that information to your team or receiving it. So first off, you need to talk to your team. Even when they're toxic and you have to mute them, or if no one reacts or responds to your callouts, just keep putting out that good information. Make sure to balance out your communication with your team's need to hear the environment though. This can be easy when you're efficient with your callouts, meaning get that information out quick with as few words as possible. When you get killed, it isn't the time to get pissed, blame your team, or make accusations. You need to get the information out immediately. From where, by who, and how were you killed. Then put out any kill cam info, then jump on the cameras or drones. Make sure to keep an eye on that compass on your HUD and the room name right next to it so your callouts actually help. Thermite killed me is not as good as Thermite killed me entering the south door at VIP. Maybe pause, then put out your kill cam info. He's with Twitch and he's less than half health. If you're watching a teammate because none of the cameras or drones are useful, make sure to designate their name before mentioning something they might have missed. Just don't try to tell teammates how to play. Suggest information if you have it, and if they don't respond, just let it go. Assuming that you're better, even if you are, or giving someone a hard time, even for a round losing mistake, is just going to create a toxic environment which will slowly cause teammates to stop communicating, and then this slippery slope typically leads to a loss. If you get unlucky and your team is being silent, press information. Where did you get killed from? Who killed you? Where are they by themselves? Can someone jump on cams? Do you guys see or hear anything? And so on. Be polite and suggestive to avoid toxicity and hope that they respond. I guarantee that demanding someone to do or say something, even when you know for a fact that will probably get you the win, it's still not going to get them to do it. So go the nice route and you will usually get better and more frequent responses. The next mistake I see is players becoming reckless when the player advantage is in their favor. We've all seen it. It's 3v1 or 5v2 and the defenders start leaving the objective or attackers start rushing in to get those easy kills. Then all of a sudden it's 1v1 or 2v2 and now you just lost that huge advantage for no reason. I've seen attackers with the diffuser near sight leave and anchors start running around the whole map aimlessly. We've all clutched rounds where this happens when we shouldn't, so take advantage of the mistakes enemies make when they become reckless like this. Just don't make the same mistakes when the odds are in your favor. Your team literally does not have to get one kill to win a round, so keep this in mind, especially when you're defending. Remind your team and yourself to play as patiently and as strategically as you would if the enemy had a full team, and you won't be on the receiving end of a clutch ace. The next mistake is players losing from bad timing. This is another way casual hurts you because the timing is so much different. If an enemy takes your attention or slows you down for a full minute in casual, you still have plenty of time, whereas an enemy slowing you down for even 30 seconds can cause you to lose the round in ranked. That's why spawn peeking and roaming are essential for defenders because it slows down the attacking team enough to force them to take chances. On the defending side, you'll have roamers that want kills more than they want to play the objective, so they'll try to get those late flanks, leaving the objective open when they could have just barricaded some doors and windows to ensure the win. Timing is something you'll gain from experience, but we'll go over some simple things to keep in mind. We'll focus on bomb because you can use the same principles on the other modes. First of all, time is on the defender's side because if literally nothing happens, the defenders win. So in regards to defending, you just need to know how to utilize this advantage. If you're roaming, you need to slow down the attack. You don't necessarily need to get kills, you just need to delay the enemy first from getting inside, and once they get inside, you need to keep them from feeling comfortable. Make them look for you, and then as time dwindles down, roam closer and closer to the objective. It's pretty difficult to take back the objective after attackers have set up the diffuser, so don't let that late flank come after the plant. Try to make it happen when they're in the process of planting. Whether you're anchoring or roaming, stop trying to force that kill. When there isn't enough time for the attackers to plant safely, you don't need to force it. This is a perfect example right here. I waited for one player to be busy with the plant and pick off the other one. I positioned myself to listen, and luckily I created enough resistance right before that they chose to go for the kill instead of planting. For attacking, you just need to have at least the basic foundation of a plan based on your operator. For instance, with Hibana or Thermite, I know what walls or hatches I intend to breach, what order I'm going to breach them in, and the path that I'll take to get there. Just thinking for a moment about your role and at least one priority that you're working towards will help create some momentum. If you or the portion of the squad you're with aren't taking any ground toward the objective or picking off enemies in about 15-second intervals, probably less, you need to change routes or strategies. Obviously, this doesn't apply if you're covering a flank or waiting for a teammate to take your position, and you can always come back to the same path, you just need to keep at least testing each option. Lastly, if you're forced to take chances, make them happen earlier than later. If it's inevitable, at least give yourself time to get that clutch instead of waiting to be forced down a choke point with only seconds left. The last mistake I see for this list is players not filling in the necessary gaps in a squad. For example, you're missing a breacher like Hibana or Thermite, or a denier like Bandit or Mute. Obviously, I do think playing the same operators consistently benefits your ability. You'll get used to their movement, weapons, gadgets, and the amount of damage they can take, which ultimately helps you become more dynamic and successful, but this rarely outweighs the need for an operator that completes a solid strategy. So don't count on someone to take the operators you need, even when you tell your team which operators are necessary. So hopefully your mains are operators that are high up on the priority list, but if you ask someone to take a certain operator that's needed and no one does, please don't be that person that starts complaining at the end of a lost round. This happens so often, and you need to remember that you didn't do it either. If you picked Thatcher and no one grabbed Hibana or Thermite, I get it, they complement each other. But if time runs out and nobody picks the operator that's higher in priority, you need to be that person. Having Thatcher is great, but without a breacher, you only have the obvious entry points available. So again, this would be a situation where you would drop Thatcher and go for Thermite or Hibana. You can usually find another way to take out bandits or mutes, but there is absolutely no other way to take out reinforced walls or hatches. This also applies when a certain strategy doesn't work. If you keep getting rushed or the attackers keep bringing in shields, maybe try being a trap operator. And if roamers are giving you a hard time, be the person that takes Jackal or Dokaibi. Filling in the gaps, even if they're not your favorite or best operators, will help your team and ultimately help your rank in the long run. So don't be stubborn and take what you know is going to help you get that win.
He's on me. Running around the corner.
Alright, I think that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video.
Bye.